Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 13th of April. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have IAG, REA Group, Aura Energy, Webjet and Metrics Income Trust. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you're getting a free newsletter, but our best recommendations come out on Tuesday in that Dynamic Investor Report. So make sure you're getting that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is in portfolio management. So if you'd like to have a trading account with me, then please let me know. And all the advice here is general only. So here we have the daily chart of IAG. As we could see, it had been trending quite nicely up until mid-February when we had that big drop. Obviously that broke the uptrend, and usually, these large drops can, at best, you just get sort of the stock moving sideways for a while. So, that's pretty much what we've got here. It didn't bounce back straight away. So, trading sideways, obviously a bit of a dip last week because of the broader market, but now we've got a bit of a range really. So, I don't think there's, at the moment, there's no signs that there's going to be really any progress. I think it'll just be, range bound for the moment. REA, so, was trending. I mean, it was nice and, for a while there, the uptrend was nice and smooth, but now it's given away, to a lot more volatility. So, quite big moves all over the place now, which is a bit of a worry. There's a bit of, obviously, some price rejection sort of around this sort of 250 region. So, look, in the past several days, we had this sort of big reversal off the low, but then it rejected off here again. So I think it's sort of in a bit of no man's land at the moment. If we ignore this sort of aberration here, I think to me, it just looks a bit range bound. I think, to get bullish, you want to see it overcome any selling up at this line. If it can get above that, then it starts to look better. Aura Energy, so if we look at a daily chart, we've got, a stock that was sort of in a bit of a range, trading in a range, kind of broke under that, sort of retested and came back down. So on the negative, it's fallen below that range, but I mean, on the positive side, there seems to be good support at 10 cents. So you had your initial bounce at 10, and on the retest, very strong bounce, and then it's done it again. So good volume as well. So potentially you could say, okay, at 11.5 cents, it's a buy with a stop just under 10. See if it gets back up here. So this is around 18 cents, and I think if you can get it cracking that 18-cent level, then that's the next buy trigger. Webjet, so as we could see on the weekly chart, we had a bit of a trend, but if we look at the daily, we could see that sort of mid last year it became a bit more obvious that there were problems with this trend. So we could see this sort of gap up here, and it kind of closed near its lows and then fell away. And then as it tried to rally back up near that range, it just sort of started falling away again. So, a bit of a, I guess an early concern that all was not well, especially around here as it sort of broke under that support and tried to rally. So I guess, there were some warning signs, and ultimately it led to this decline. And then in terms of the last several weeks, you've got, it's forming resistance here, couldn't break through, and now it's fallen all the way back to retest this low. So I guess you could say it's in a range now, but the way it's fallen all the way back to the lower end of that, it's a bit of a concern. If it was holding up here, you'd say it'd be getting close to an upside break, but now that it's all the way back here, I'd say, if I had to place a bet, I'd say most likely would break support pretty soon and then just continue lower. MOT, so probably better look at a weekly chart. So not really, it's just basically just gone sideways, not trending, not really in a range, I guess. Doesn't do anything except for most recently it's fallen. So it just looks like the risks are all to the one side on this one. So look, it has fallen and bounced, but you know, no, look, not a strong enough bounce that I think it's going to get all the way back up here. I mean, you know, is it sort of holding on to this low, or is it going to come back and retest these sorts of levels? So I think for the risk reward, not much upside. I mean, this is all it could do at best on the upside, but downside, obviously, there's, you know, anything's possible. So yeah, it doesn't look like a great opportunity here. Okay, well, that's all for this week. So if you have a request, send it through and I'll try to cover it next time.